Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
It's 7 o'clock. You're listening to the network service of Radio Nigeria. Welcome to the news. I am Noura Muhammad.
And I'm Mariam Okesanjo. Good morning. The headlines. Food distribution to the vulnerable in Lagos threatened by insecurity. Correspondent examines how people with underlying ailments cope with coronavirus. Osun State begins decongestion of custodial centers. We now move on to the spotlight, which is on food evolution as a science-based introduction to crop biotechnology. It is written by Dr. Rose Gidado.
The consumption of organic food can be considered safe and benign. However, the evidence was conclusively originated more than 20 years ago and are still promoted by people who do not want to recognize what scientists have discovered about crop biotechnology. Arguments against biotechnology are easily refuted because they ignore horizontal gene transfer between living beings, a process by which different species naturally exchange DNA for the evolutionary benefit of both organisms. Ironically, the non-GMO project Monarch Butterfly in Europe is a textbook example. Two major publications have demonstrated this phenomenon in action, notably in sweet potatoes and in 49 other plant species including yam and banana, which are naturally transgenic organisms, even the organic varieties. Outside of a living organism, transgenesis in the laboratory is carried out with the help of bacterium, Agrobacterium, which leads to the formation of collar galls or hair roots due to the expression of the transferred tDNA genes. Spontaneous regeneration of transformed cells can produce natural transformants carrying cellular tDNA sequences of bacterial origin. In empirical studies, researchers looked for tDNA-like genes in sequenced genomes of plants and discovered that these genes are remarkably widespread in nature. This natural gene transfer, when carried out in vitro by Agrobacterium, leads many countries, including those belonging to the European Union, to regulate a food crop as a GMO, though there is effectively no difference between a laboratory-made transgenic plant and one produced by Mother Nature. The question of patenting living things is equally worrying. In the European Union, no crop variety can be patented. Only inventions are afforded that protection. For example, a genetic construction is patentable. The patentability of genetics constructs is thus encouraged by research institutes, which earn royalties. But the patent does not privatize knowledge. On the contrary, the inventor has the obligation to describe their invention and thus make the result of their investigations public, but its use requires the agreement of the patent owner. The plant variety protection system differs from the patent system in that it allows protected varieties to be used for experimentation and for breeding in order to create new ones, without the need for the owner's agreement. This helps to prevent possible monopoly situations and, above all, the slowing down of genetic breeding progress. Breeders, creators of new plant varieties can have them protected on the basis of global guidelines. This protection is attested by a property called Plant Variety Certificate or PVP. It prohibits anyone from producing and marketing seeds of the variety without the express consent of the owner. Another common refrain in the organic community is that farmers are afraid of dilution from GMOs, particularly canola. The fact remains that with no more evidence against GMO crops, anti-GMO activists are now running against themselves, resulting in confusion. On the subject of gene flow, this question has been asked since the 1950s, long before the advent of GMO crops, and that solution exists: flowering delay and geographical distance. For example, multiplication of a corn line is carried out in an isolated plot. The distance between this plot and any other maize field of another variety must be at least 400 meters, and a maximum of 0.1% impurity is tolerated. For a hybrid crop, a maximum of 0.1% is tolerated also in the male and in the female parent. According to the Director General of the National Biotechnology Development Agency (NABDA), Professor Alex Akbar, scientists had labored under laboratory conditions for years to proffer solutions for the advancement of biotechnology. This underscores the fact that with increased awareness and better attention, scientists can blaze the trail at such a time as this. Critics often assert that long-term multi-generation toxicity tests on animals are necessary to confirm the safety of GMO crops. Organic farmers still cultivate varieties derived from biotechnologies. It is debatable whether the representatives of the anti-GMO crusaders are ignorant or blinded by their ideology, believing their own truths, or utilizing a strategy based on fear and a normative concept of nature to make consumers pay more. Food evolution clearly shows that many organic food advocates do not respect these views. It is therefore clear to see that in the field of biotechnology, there is no need embellishing the truth that food evolution will find an appropriate base in science only through crop biotechnology.
That spotlight on food evaluation as a science-based introduction to crop biotechnology was written by Dr. Rose Gidado and presented by Olayemi Daniel. And now to end the news, here is a recap of the major stories. Delivery of foods to Lagos residents in their homes is under threat due to attacks by street urchins, popularly called area boys and hoodlums. Correspondent examined how people with underlying ailments have to cope with coronavirus pandemic ravaging the world. The Osun State government has granted clemency to 34 inmates of custodial centers in line with the federal government's efforts to contain the spread of coronavirus. The Nigerian army says it has killed 105 Boko Haram insurgents during an encounter at Gujba local government of Yobe State.
And that's the news as edited by Biodun Dari and the production team. I am Noura Muhammad.
And I'm Mariam Okesanjo. Please stay home.